Not 140.
My understanding is.
Yeah, 134. So reconfigure 131 into lot 132. Those parking lots 134, previously 414. 413 will become.
Yep.
That's new, that's new. This is all the open space and then this little piece right here. Four.
413 will become 414.
14, yes.
Duly noted.
Got her all ironed out.
Well, kinda, till you ask me again and then I'll be confused again.
Just don't ask.
You must know what's going on, because you already said that it's okay with you.
That's right. I had a bigger map.
Gosh, that means you really looked into it
I
and
don't
spent a
know
lot of
much
time.
about the current market.
Yeah.
She's paid the big bucks for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Person or something.
Oh, yeah. Better get that out too. We don't need those in the morning.
First, or day spring.
But you got your handy dandy remote controls out so you can vote
No.
efficiently and effectively.
Set to stuff.
So Emma's gonna be missing.
Yeah, I was like, here we go. Okay.
If only Congress acted, it was, they showed up as well as we do and acted as swiftly as we do.
Yeah, if they'd only do that.
If only.
No, they could tear it down, start.
If they-
Throw them all out.
That's what they do.
We get to do that every so often.
Oh, Bill's getting back.
Okay. Okey doke, March 26, 2024, Planning Committee meeting, Commission meeting is hereby called to order. Let's have roll call.
Davies. McCune.
Here.
Matthews. Here. Bain. Here. Van Belson.
Yo.
Fudge.
Here.
Jet.
Here.
Forbes. Here. And Whirl.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Current copy of the state of Nebraska's open meeting laws are in that frame back there by the door. If you have any questions, please refer to that. Item number 2 on the agenda tonight is approval of minutes held on February 27th, 2024, which I regretfully was absent from. I do apologize.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by McEwen, seconded by Jet to approve the minutes. Any discussion about said minutes? Not. Michelle's here tonight. Look at that. Oh, there you go.
Who's your vote, yes or no?
Was your vote yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the minutes are approved. She's here, but we're off to a shaky start. Item number 3, file number SU 24-004, discussion, consider action on application by Centennial Park Professional Plaza for Centennial Park 11th subdivision located south of Leota Street between South Oak Street and South Willow Street in a PB1 neighborhood commercial district on property described as lots 141 and 413. Centennial Plaza, 9th subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, so you should have all received a copy of the review comments and attached as a preliminary and final plat. The subdivision will add lot 22 for a new building, which is kind of to the south part of the property. Add parking lots 144 and 134, which is east of the new lot 22. We'll reconfigure lot 131 into lot 132, and then all of the open area will become lot 414. Water and sewer are available to service the lots. Planning staff has no objections to approval of Centennial Park 11th subdivision. A representative from the applicant is here if you have any questions, or I can try and answer those also.
Any questions? Anybody want to ask the applicant anything?
What is the new building?
Rob Stefko, Commercial Investment Services, 212 North Dewey. Good evening. Mr. Bain, I didn't hear you.
What
I'm an
was
old
it-
guy.
What is the new building?
It's going to be a medical office building,
Okay.
yet to be built. What we're finishing here is the final parcel that can be subdivided on this lot that we started years and years and years ago. I'm going to say 25 to 30 years ago. And there's X amount of footprint that you can build for office space and or other things. This takes the total final, there's no further office space or any more buildings that can be built there. The owner will own the footprint of that building. All the parking lots, all of the driveways, all the green areas is owned by Centennial Park Professional Plaza. We manage the common area, and they're billed by percentage of ownership of square foot in the property. So those lots next door to that will become Centennial Park Professional Office Plaza. That's part of the corporation. All that the rest of it owns are footprints.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any more questions for Mr. Stefko while he's there? Not, I believe there's a proposed motion in front of you.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU 24-004 preliminary and final approval of Centennial Park 11th subdivision.
I'll second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Matthews to recommend approval. Any more discussion on the matter? Not, Michelle? Please. And the recommendation is made for approval.
We'll go to the city council for final approval on April 2nd.
Okey doke. Item number 4, discuss and consider action on a resolution regarding the City of North Platte, Nebraska micro-TIF blight and substandard study as prepared by the City of North Platte and make a recommendation regarding its conformity with the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011, whether the real estate described should be declared substandard and blighted for the development of the City of North Platte pursuant to the Nebraska Community Development Law. The proposed City of North Platte, Nebraska micro-TIF blight and substandard study includes an estimated 2.69 acres located at 1211 East 4th Street and 403 through 407 North Bryan Avenue on property described as all of Lot 25 of Platteview Subdivision, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Mr. Van Velsen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I need to recuse myself, and I will I want to make sure that everybody understands I've never talked to anybody about this or discussed this matter with any members of the board, and I will excuse myself and leave. See ya.
Very
Thanks
good.
for coming.
Judy.
Okay, you should have all received a copy of the review comments, a copy of the resolution, and then the blight and substandard study with the attachments. So just before I read this, just to give you a little bit of background, this is the first what I call micro blight study that has been completed with the new regulations that went into effect through the state. Instead of going through a huge blight study, there is some regulation in there that allows for these smaller areas to be determined as blighted and substandard. Then at that point, they can use the micro-TIF possibility of going forward with that. So what happened was the city attorney and I worked on putting together a application to make my life a little bit easier and his life a little bit easier in putting together a blight and substandard study. So the applicant prepared the attachment A, which is essentially his application and what he felt was the qualifying factors for this property to be blight and substandard. And then I put together the summary, which is the first 4 pages of the blight study. So this is very similar to the way that a normal blight study is done. It has to go through the 2 public hearing processes, one at planning commission level, one at city council level. Resolution has to be passed, and then it can be declared blight and substandard. So the city planning commission's responsibility in the blight and substandard determination study process is to take public comment on whether the real estate described should be declared blighted and substandard as pursuant to Nebraska Community Development Law, and if the study is in conformance with the city of North Platte, Nebraska's comprehensive plan. The following statements should be considered and confirmed. The property as presented in the study meets the requirement to be declared substandard. The property as presented in the study meets the requirements to be declared blighted. The factors necessary to declare the property blighted and substandard are sufficiently distributed to impact development across the entire site. The development of this property to its full potential is in the best interest of the city of North Platte and the entire region, and there are projects ready to develop if they can meet the financial goals. Nebraska State Statute 18-21033 regulates the percentage of the city that can be declared blighted and substandard pursuant to Nebraska Community Development Law, states that the city of the first class shall not designate more than 35% of the city as blighted. Currently, the city limits of the city of North Platte contain 12,152.98 acres, with 2,597.97 designated as blighted and substandard, or 21.38%. The proposed study will designate an additional 2.69 acres as blighted and substandard, which would increase the city's percentage to 21.40%. The city of North Platte, the blight and substandard study is attached for your review. The city of North Platte, Nebraska Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 4, sets several goals, objectives, and action steps for housing in the community. Listed are the objectives to creating sufficient housing stock, to provide safe choices and options for the community. Mixed use, redevelop underutilized land with a mix of land uses that encourage new housing options. Workforce housing, create alternative housing options such as senior or low to moderate income housing. Housing alternatives, provide incentives such as density bonuses for redevelopment of areas with substandard housing stock to affordable. Safe housing, including housing programs that encourage construction of multifamily residential units. Keeping pace, prepare for future growth by extending city infrastructure to areas targeted for development. Planning staff recommends approval of the study and passage of the attached resolution. The study is in conformance with the North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 and meets the requirements to be declared blighted and substandard. By declaring this area as blight and substandard, the city remains below the 35% threshold, leaving acres available for future blight and substandard declarations. Allowing development of this property to the full potential is in the best interest of the city and the entire region. There is the applicant, I believe, is in the audience, and also a representative of the applicant is in the audience.
Okey doke, Planning Commission, this is a public hearing. Planning Commission values your input, and wants to hear from the audience during the public hearings. Anybody wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chair. Once recognized, please approach the podium, state your name and address. Please keep your comments brief as possible. Repetitive and excessively long testimony may be ended at the discretion of the chair, and that makes us all grouchy, so let's not do that. The public hearing is now open. Who'd like to come talk on this one? Come on up. You must be the reason that Mr. Van Velsen had to leave.
I am the reason Mr. Van Velsen had to leave. I'm Andrew Van Velsen of Van Velsen Law Office. Glenn's my dad and business partner. Business address of 410 East Francis Street, number 2 here in North Platte. My role in this is I represent North Platte Complex LLC. That LLC is who owns this property and who the applicant is. One of the members of that LLC, Elijah Erday is here today. He's the one who's doing most of the reno on this property. The goal is, rather than tear down and rebuild, this is going to be one of those where these guys come in and take the buildings on the property, strip them back down, redo the outside, redo the inside. Within the application that you have attached to your packet, you'll see the pictures of the inside of this location. Most people from North Platte are familiar with the outside of this location. It's on 4th Street, across the street from Taco Bell and Merrick's, and there's a couple of big trees growing right up the front. Their plan is to make this into a better and more accessible and actually livable environment as a multifamily housing unit. That's going to be rather important to the North Platte area as we prepare for more housing with the sustainable beef plant coming in. If the board has any questions for either one of us, we're willing to answer those as best as I can. He's the brains of the operation. I'm just the one who got to show up in a tie. But if anybody has questions, please feel free.
Before we get started, can I have your name and address, please, sir?
Elijah Erday of 5516 Corby Street, Corby, Omaha, Nebraska, 68104, Unit 4.
Very good. Questions from the group?
How many roll-off boxes are you gonna need?
We're over 20 now.
Is that right?
Dumb question from a guy who doesn't know any better. Can you really rehabilitate that thing?
It's not as bad as people think it is. I've done far worse than that for sure. But I'm also the kind of guy where if a house has caught fire and it's completely gone, but the foundation's good, I'm going to say, we can still rebuild it. So, it's just a matter of just overcoming obstacles, and we're able to. So, yes, we can rebuild that.
Are you looking at all residential on that entire site?
Yes, we are looking all residential on the whole site.
Is the front house, office, whatever that, gonna remain?
We're still trying to figure out what we would even do with that. Someone brought up the idea that maybe we could add a bathroom in it and then have an insurance company or something come through. But we're not entirely sure about that one section. Everything else, though, all the other 50 units would be just remodeled.
Are they all on the back half or just most on the back half?
As far as the
units?
units, yeah, most of them are, well, I mean, it's
All
pretty much
the-
a whole circle, right?
Yeah.
So like that back building, I believe, is 16 units, and then there's, 10 or so, and then a triplex. And then when you go to the other side, coming up, you have the fourplex, duplex, and a sixplex with a fourplex right in front. A fourplex without the storefront area.
I see. I was just thinking that the frontage might be a highest and best use commercial location along the highway, the front half of that.
As far as
I just figured it might be a mixed use rather than all residential. I thought part of the land might be utilized.
the land
create
itself.
something in the front.
Someone had actually mentioned that someone was intending on building a Jimmy John's or something there at one point, but we have not talked about that at all. So far, the conversation's only been just revitalizing the apartments
Revitalize what's
themselves.
there.
Yeah.
It does appear that there may be some land available that's vacant.
Right. Yeah. There definitely is actually on that storefront to the right and left hand side.
Yeah, at least a couple pads or
Yeah.
one pad.
Seems to me like at one time there was actually some playground equipment there. I actually worked in the radio station across from there for a lot of years and looked at that thing every morning. So,
Really? Okay.
yeah, it
So
seems
the
like there's-
house on the corner of Bryan, that'll remain?
That the intention is for it to remain. Yes.
That's a single family, isn't it? Or is that
It was
Multi.
broken up into 6 units.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 on the bottom, 2 basement floor, 2 main floor, and then 2 on the top floor.
okay?
Any other questions?
Are the units, there's some, 2-bedroom, some 1-bedroom units? Can you kind of talk a little bit about what
So all the units are 1 bedroom.
are they okay?
And we intend to make, I believe it's 9 of the units. Maybe it's 7. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. So it's 7 of the units on the bottom floor of the back building. That's currently a 16 unit. It has garages, and so the intent for that is to remove the garages, wall those in. Since they're 10 foot by 20, we could do roughly 2 10 foot by 10 foot bedrooms in there with egress windows at the back and then the front. And then there's already access point from the garage into the unit. for the first bedroom, and then the back bedrooms would just be accessible through a kitchen doorway that we would have to open up to get to.
What kind of target rents are you looking at? I know we're probably down the road, but just, is this going to be, still in the low income range, mid income range, or what do you think?
From all the conversations we've had, 650 seems to come to mind a lot.
Okay.
Across the board from all the partners, and so I mean, 650 seems to be
So
where we're at.
affordable.
That's pretty affordable.
Certainly workforce type housing.
Yeah, the 2-bed, 1-bath units though would be more than that, but just all the rest of them. So like the 40 or so units would be in that price range. The 1-bed, 1-bath.
Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anybody else care to testify on this one? Going once. Going twice.
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by McEwen to close the public hearing. Any discussion on that motion? Not. Michelle, please. And the public hearing is hereby closed. Okay, we're going to talk about this up here now.
See nothing negative.
This is a brave project.
From here, right?
That has been an eyesore in that part of the world for, yep.
I'll just weigh in and say that the city's been working towards this for a long time, and so just the fact that this is a micro TIF project, and keeping in mind what you're voting on today is the resolution to move the blight and substandard study forward, and so this is somewhat of a unique situation in that the city has prepared this as what we call as kind of like a one-off of the blight and substandard study, where we're just looking at this small portion of the city. And so I just want to draw your attention to that. But from my review, from all the work that Judy's done on it, it meets the requirements to be blighted and substandard. And so, it's it'll be interesting to see where things go from here with these micro TIF projects, because it's kind of novel territory for all of us to work through. And so just wanted to draw everybody's attention to those few points.
So unless my memory fails me, which is not that uncommon these days, there are 5 key factors we're supposed to discern. This property is presented, or as presented in the study, meets the requirements to be both declared substandard and blighted. Factors necessary to declare the property blighted and substandard are sufficiently distributed to impact development across the entire site, that the development of this property to its full potential is in the best interest of the city of North Platte, and that there are projects ready to go if they can meet financial goals of the developer. And I think we've demonstrated all 5 of those here, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I would agree.
Thank you, Counselor.
I would move to approve the resolution and recommend adoption of the City of North Platte, Nebraska micro TIF blight and substandard study prepared by the City of North Platte, located at 1211 East 4th Street and 403 through 407 North Bryan Avenue, and approval of related actions.
Second.
Motion by Jack, seconded by Forbes. She got there before you did, to make a recommendation to approve. Any more discussion on this
He
one?
looks sad.
If not, Michelle, please. And this has been approved at our level, but it will go to the city council.
Yep, City Council, April 2nd.
Good luck and thank you.
Yes.
Item number 5, if Mr. Van Velsen Glenn is out in the hallway, he can come back in now. But I do think he left. I think he was serious about that. I think he, yep, there he went. Item number 5, old
Dinner to
business.
go to.
I don't have any old business.
Any new business?
Not right now.
Anybody got anything for the good of the cause?
Adjourn.
You don't even have to do that. Meeting adjourned. Be happy to.
Thank you.